Alright, good Erev Shabbos, the covered, the Heilige Zayt, the Maharal Prague, Zluntina College, and we will see what can we find here. Exodus, we have to go to Exodus 21 at least. So let's Lamazay, Titzach. I don't know if it'll work because it's connecting. Might not be able to get it. I was able to get the Gemara. Oh, there we go. Alright, we'll just press 21, not to complicate anything, and then we'll go commentary. You see there's 160 commentaries. Just have to go down to Aryeh. There's 7 commentaries just on this. So let's start off with the verse Ve'ele Mishpatim Asher Dasim Lifneihem, and these are the judgments, the rules. Rules, that's good because it's like rulings, right? That you should put in front of them. You should set in front of them, right? So first, you're going to open the Aryeh. This way we can open Rashi, because as we know, the Aryeh is a commentary on Rashi. It's a super commentary, is how Sfaria likes to say it. Ve'ela ha-mishpatim kol makom shnema eila b'salas rishonim. Whenever it says these, without the modifier of and these, that is to negate or to cancel or nullify that which comes before it. Ve'ela, but here it says ve'ela, and these are. Moisef halarishonim. That is to add to that which is before it. Maharishonim misinai af elu misinai. So just like chapter 20, the 10 Commandments, and the things that come after that are from Sinai, so too all of these laws. This is not the Code of Hammurabi. These are from God, from Sinai. Why do the laws of civil laws come right after the laws of the altar? Where did that happen? Nachamol, Nachamol. Loi malacha shetosim. Ach, Nachamol. Where did it go? Not even the right Rashi there. Anyways, what's a shame? Let's try this again. No. Alright. It's that the Sanhedrin should set it up like the Shulchan Aruch, right? A set table. Alright. So, the Heilige Zayt Maharal, he comments on the words of Rashi, Kol Makom Shne Emar Eile. First off, where it says, any place that says these, without the modifier of and these, Ve'ele. B'shmois Rabbah v'Mechilta. So this appears both in the Medrash Rabbah in Exodus and in the Mechilta, which is also a Medrash homily on Exodus. And L'Hakshris al Zeh, it's not a question on this. We shouldn't ask a question about this. In Kol Makom Shnemar Eile Posel as Rishonim, that every place that it says these, that negates that which comes before it. Al Korcha Taima Heavy Mishum De'ela Mash Meloshin Miyad. Again, first of all, I think it's pretty obvious that it's talking about where it appears at the beginning of a verse, of a sentence. Anyway, that Eila, these, is a limiting term. So what is the limitation here? If and these adds to that which comes before it. And furthermore, why do we say that every place that it says and these is adding to that which precedes it? The letter Vav is the word and that connects one thing to another thing. You notice it looks like a hook that like would connect one thing to another. What is the novel teaching here to say that and these adds that which precedes it? it's pretty obvious that the simple meaning is when it says ve'ela and these, that comes to add that which comes before it, because it says and. That's what the purpose of the word and means. And these means to add to that which is before, this and that, right? And these. The point is, though, what Rashi is teaching us, says the Heilige Zaydim Maharal in Prague, is that even though the word Eila is here, the word these is here, which the Mashma Miute, which is a limiting term, of Filohachi came Eila Moisav L'Rishonim, that basically the letter Vav cancels the limiting power of the word these. That the word and cancels the limitation of these, because it's and these. It adds that these are adding to that which is before. It's adding to that which precedes it. But when these appears alone without and these, that is a term of limitation. That's limiting other things. That only these are adding to that which comes before and not others. Inami, if that's the case, even though every time that the word and, the A-N-D, the letter Vav, appears, it adds to that which comes before it. That when it says these, in the sense of this, of and these, ve'ela, means to say that these are adding to that which precedes it in a manner which is dignified and important. When you use the word these, that seems to be a term of importance. It's not similar to other times when it's just a vav by itself, just the word and by itself, that's just connecting two things. When you say and these, that shows the importance and the high status of that which is added. So that's when it's just a vav by itself, just the word and, it's not the same as saying and these. It shows that there's a similarity between these two things to show that they're both just as important. Meaning, one shouldn't think that the Ten Commandments are any more important than any other commandments in the Torah. Although some Rishonim understand the Ten Commandments to be 10 categories that all the Torah can fall into, but that's more of a homiletical idea than a legal idea. And it's actually considered heretical to consider the Ten Commandments to be more important than any other scripture. And that's the point that the Maharal is bringing out here in his understanding of Rashi. The Heilige Zaydim Maharal is but also this letter Vav, the word and, A-N-D, it's not just a concept that teaches us of a connection of one thing to another. You could connect these things to say that these come from the mouth of God, but it adds that they are one, conceptually one, that they're in the same level of importance. That's not why it's written and these. Without that, you wouldn't think if it wasn't the same importance. And that is why it is written and these. If you say, if this is coming to teach us, like Rashi says, it come from Sinai, all the mitzvahs, all the commandments come from Mount Sinai, Rashi Parshas Bahar. Like Rashi says in the Bahar, Mishpatim, the Ra'am explains that these are the laws, the Ra'am, who the Maharal usually disagrees with, understands that when it says ve'ela means that the whole nation saw the thunder and lightning and so forth at Mount Sinai. It wasn't just something that was given to Moses at Sinai, but these laws were all given publicly at Sinai. So that's a difference than, let's say, Bahar Sinai in the end of the book of near the end of the book of Leviticus, where there's also mention about the sabbatical year coming from Sinai, and that everything therefore Rashi says comes from Sinai. The Ra'am understands it that that this chapter was given publicly with the thunder and lightning at Sinai, not privately to Moses. And that also answers this question: why are the civil laws given next to the laws of the altar? It's that these laws of Mishpatim, of civil laws, were said right away before the altar. And before God told Moses, tell them to go back to their tents. So then it would make sense to put this Mishpatim, these civil laws of chapter 21, right after the Ten Commandments, and not with a few verses in between them. So if that's not the case, what is this question? Why is this connected? This is not the place for it. Furthermore, why did Rashi start with this question of why are they connected? It's not a question. The question only comes when you say that Ve'ela and these adds to that which becomes from Kach Parshas. That's what the Ram understands. And like the Maharal always does, generally, he's not happy with the Ram has to say. We say just like the Ten Commandments and the altar were from Sinai, so to these. It doesn't say that the Ten Commandments. It means also the laws of the altar. So that this, when it says the laws of the altar, that's also talking about that which comes before as from Sinai, meaning the laws of the altar. That's between the Ten Commandments and this chapter, at the end of chapter 20. And furthermore, you have to say, why are these that comes before from Sinai? Could say, if the Ra'am is making this claim, also we say that which comes with thunder and lightning. And furthermore, Haiksiv, it's the Seres Devarim Dibar Hashem El Kahalchem. In the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 5, when there's the repetition of the Ten Commandments, it says that the Ten Commandments were given from the word of the Lord to your congregation, not more. So only that was given publicly, and all the other laws were given privately to Moses. So it seems that this is the way to understand it. Even though all the commandments were given at Sinai, there are some commandments that are more. The main thing from Sinai, these are more important mitzvahs, which is hard for us to understand. So God came down to Sinai for those specifically. Wait a second, how much longer is this? This is pretty long. I probably shouldn't have picked this one. I'm going to have to pause, and then we will continue. Let's just see if this mikveh is open. Alright, I was disappointed the local mikveh is not open. Well, let's pause it again until this clicking stops. Alright, I'm going to try another mikveh that I've never been to before, and we'll see if we can get in there. Alright. These specifically, they're spoken exactly how they're written. And all the other commandments were said with them from Sinai. As the psalmist said in Psalm 19, verse, well, obviously not verse 200, but anyway, the law of the Lord is perfect. There's no difference between the different mitzvahs. It's not more important mitzvahs, more important commandments and less important. So therefore they were all said from Mount Sinai, but still there is some type of a difference between the different commandments. Ten Commandments were set from Sinai for themselves. Elu sha'ara mitzvahs namru misinai ne'she Hashem yisbarach nasan haTorah b'shleimus misinai. The other commandments were given at Sinai because of the perfection of the Torah. What does that mean? Teda, the proof is like this. Sha'amro, Gemara and Saita, Lamed Zayin and Beis says, HaTorah nitna klosev her tosah misinai. Both the general and the particular aspects of the Torah were given at Sinai. Chazru nishna boil moed. Then they went back and they were taught in the tent of meeting. Chazru nishna barvus moev. And then they went back and they were taught at the in the desert of Moab. So why specifically these mitzvahs that were written in the tent of meeting, that were said over in the tent of meeting, not written kigoyim mitzvahs or korbanos, like Leviticus specifies that the sacrifices in Leviticus 1:1 were given from the Ohel Moed, from the tent of meeting. Shamarnu said, it must be like we said, they were all said at Sinai first and then repeated at the tent of meeting. But they're only repeated because the certain commandments were specifically connected to the tent of meeting, like the commandments of the sacrifices. Those are connected to the tent of meeting. But for that reason, to show that not some mitzvahs are more important than others, so too these were repeated at the tent of meeting, because the Torah is one. We shouldn't say that some of the mitzvahs were said in this place and some in another place. So that's why they were all given at Sinai and repeated at the tent of meeting. But they might have only been said in a hinted way, not in an open way. And furthermore, like we say, the first ones are from Sinai, so too these from Sinai. Just like the first ones are said at Sinai, the Israel Nemru Aser Sadibris Sinai. All the Israelites heard the Ten Commandments at Sinai. So too are these. All the other commandments were said to Moses. Sinai, they were all said at Sinai, Israel, but they only said privately to Moses. Only the Ten Commandments were given publicly, and all the other commandments were given privately. But then we could say that all of the 613 commandments were hinted to in the Ten Commandments. But then, when they got to the tent of meeting, or they went to the wilderness of Moab, then they were taught to the entire people by Moses, and then by Moses to Joshua, and Joshua to the elders, and the elders to all of Israel, or Moses to Aaron and to Joshua, different ways that's presented there. Thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and have a very good Shabbos. Take care.